Raiders.
What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome to Raider Nation Show Me Your Shield. It's me, Raiders First Downs, with my co-host, Donuts Duncan. We need to talk, not the surface level talk either, not the hype talk. I'm talking about the real conversation about the team. As my phone in the background is beeping, whoever's trying to get a hold of me, you could just knock it off now. Because right now, the Las Vegas Raiders are in a moment where identity matters more than anything else. It's not just about wins and losses. It's about direction. It's about clarity. What are you looking for, Raider Nation? What do you want? Or are we just going to react week to week? That's what Show Me the Shield really means, man. It's what you guys think. It's your team. It's our team. It's not just a slogan. It's a standard. All right. Let's hold each other accountable. It's about showing up for the purpose. It's about understanding what it means to represent the silver and black. Not just in name, but in how the team is constructed, how it's coached. Now, we all have relative ideas. Everybody's got good ones, and everybody's opinion matters. It's just where we take it from there, but be strong with your opinion. Tonight, we're going to talk about roster direction. We're going to talk about quarterback expectations. We're going to talk about what this team is showing us, what it still means, what it still has to prove. Because at the end of the day, Raider Nation doesn't follow noise. Raider Nation follows truth. So the question tonight is simple. Are we seeing a team that's building a future, or a team still searching for its identity? So once and for all, let's get into it. Where's my cue? God,
Raider Nation! Raider Nation! Stop scrolling. The silver and black conversation starts right here. Hot takes, real fans, no filters. This is the show where Raider Nation speaks. So crank it up! And show me your shit!
If that don't get you pumped up to talk a little Raider football, then I don't know what will. What's up, Duncan? What are we doing tonight?
Oh, not much. Just talking about our future quarterback, Fernando
Nice.
Mendoza. Got the jersey from my wife.
Now,
Great wife.
hopefully that doesn't become a collector's item sooner than later.
Yeah, no, I have confidence that they're going to make it work. It's going to be the franchise that fails them if anything fails.
Yeah.
And right now, I have a bunch of confidence that we have the right men in the building. Finally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just grown men acting like adults in the captain chair, finally.
Yeah. You know, the only bad thing is we said the same thing last year.
I didn't.
I did. I
just didn't see a future with Pete Carroll. It's like, okay, he's here for 3 years. Then what? Like, you're setting up a culture, and then your culture walks away because Pete Carroll is the culture.
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't see the future with that.
Yeah. Well, I thought he would rise us up a little bit, get us going, and then hand it off to somebody that can run with it from there. But that team didn't even get out of the starting blocks as far as anything per se last year. It was just a total train wreck.
Yeah.
Dumpster fire, train crash, whatever the hell you want to call it. That was horrible. One of the worst seasons, if not the worst season in Raiders history.
Yeah, last season kind of reminded me of a meme of a person sitting there with a fire behind them saying, "This is okay. Everything's okay," while they're smiling. Like, it's all fine. Like, no, you're burning on fire. You're going down.
Yep. So, hey, today, April 7th, was the first day of team activities where the team, obviously, us having a new head coach, we get an extra week. There was 10 teams that got to start today. And just so happens it was also on a day that Fernando Mendoza was coming in for his top 30 visit. read the tea leaves, I guess, huh? As you can say.
Yeah.
But having said that, with everything that has transpired within the last week and a half of moves, not a whole lot, but I think the little subtle moves that we've made were significant. But how important is today to the future of the franchise? What do you think?
I mean, it's a important stepping stone to the building of what the team's supposed to be for the season. It's, I mean, they can obviously start having their team meetings so they can lay the foundation on what they're expecting from the team,
Mm-hmm.
slowly get into player designations and what their jobs are going to be, and slowly opening up a playbook. But also making sure guys are getting ready physically, making sure they're getting stretched out, warmed up, and everything properly so they can start getting their routine down for their practices and game days. I mean, it's a small step, but it's a very important one.
Yeah.
And hopefully, like a snowball, they can keep building this one up and make it grow nice and big and solid.
Today actually would, to me, today is the first day of knocking the ugly off of last year. So everybody gets in the building. Obviously, there's not going to be coaches can't go out and run drills and things like that. The guys could go out and do things out on the field by themselves, but a lot of in-house, they can have meetings in the building, meet with their coaches, start to go over what the plans are for the season and whatnot, and then go from there. I mean, it's just it started that bonding period. It gives them a little extra time, that extra week to do that. Could be important down the road. I truly think, because football teams, all the football that I ever played, the bonding period is one of the most crucial parts of building a team in football. It's those days of in the meeting room, in the weight room together, out doing conditioning drills together by yourselves without a coach yelling at you, but you guys are pushing each other, to get faster and get stronger and get in shape, get your, see where you're. And most of these guys now, when they come into, they're physical specimens to begin with, because they're minus a week or two at the end of the season. It's full go unless you're rehabbing injuries. And that's another thing that's important too, is that those that are rehabbing injuries can come in and start the evaluation process from there where they're at. I believe they can meet with the medical staff on site during the OTA.
Yeah, they can.
So that's a bonus too. So having said that, and then the thing with Fernando being in today for his top 30 visit, not a whole lot. Obviously, it's hush hush secret type stuff. There's not a whole lot of leaking of information and things like that. Who he met with, or what did the cook at PF Chang's have to say? So,
Yeah.
But if you want, go ahead and rip off our chat for us real quick. We're got some folks in here.
Yeah, we got Sacktown Mike coming in, saluting Jason and myself. How's it going, Sacktown?
Thanks, Sacktown, for coming in, brother.
Raider Ryan coming in, saluting the nation. What's up?
What's up, Raider Ryan?
Jack coming in early again.
Jack. Thanks.
401 Raider Jeff confusing this with a movie podcast.
Nah, that's all right.
Yeah. And then we got Sacktown saying he's glad that the Raiders re-signed Ian Thomas.
That's a good signing.
He's solid tight end. I mean, he can very well be a number 2 on most rosters. Hey, he's just solid. He gets his job done. And then Sacktown also answered the question that you posted in our chats. He's saying, I'm loving the current direction that the Raiders are going. Love the new coaching staff, and they're killing free agency. Can't wait to see what they do in the draft. Absolutely. I mean, I'm absolutely ecstatic for the draft. I can't wait. I used to always take the whole Thursday through the weekend off of work. Don't bug me. This is football time, because we got a long stretch of no football after the draft.
No. Well, I mean, we'll have OTAs, mini camps. There'll still be some free agency type stuff coming in and out.
Yeah, but I don't want to put too much weight into that stuff. Just because
we will have the schedule release.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah,
the schedule release. I'm sure 401 Raider Jeff will have a killer show regarding the schedule release. So stay tuned to that. Subscribe to our channels and subscribe to his channel as well, and we'll keep you guys all in the loop. I'm sure me and you won't participate in that show, but we'll be there to support him nonetheless.
Yeah.
So let's get immediate hype or skepticism has been dividing us, and it's this past week even more so. I saw a lot more of division with the whole gotcha get you type attitude. But if the Raiders pass on Mendoza after the visit, what message does that send? What message does that send to you, Duncan?
Sends to me that they don't want me watching this year.
You're that.
I just don't see how you can pass up on a quarterback when you finally have the actual chance of drafting one. Kirk Cousins is just another stopgap quarterback. Like how many quarterbacks have we gone through since Carr? Like Kirk Cousins isn't going to be here for 10 years. Like
No.
4 at the most. Like if he were to complete this whole 5-year contract, I'd bet he'd be pretty close to retirement.
Actually, I wouldn't. I would say he's probably got 2 good years left in him, if that.
But even still, he's been battling injuries
Yep.
for what, 2 years now, 3 years?
Yeah, he had the Achilles year before last. Was it year before last? Yeah, year before last.
The year prior to that.
Nah.
I think the Achilles was at the end of 3 seasons ago.
Okay.
And last year was his second year back from the Achilles injury, I believe.
No.
Because it was Penix's second season.
So my take on it is, and I'm actually Team Mendoza, don't get me wrong. I want them to draft him for all the reasons that I've said since. I'm not going to replay it, but ever since. Okay. But if there's a plan in place and that plan is absolute, we're going to stick to this plan. It's going to be nonstop, and they trade back. They're going to trade back, get the picks that they want, knowing that this year is just going to be, it's going to be 100% elevating the entire team, not just one position, right? Because first off, we have a number 6 pick that we took last year that we need to get him going. We did him no justice last year, so that's, to me, that's priority number 1.
You talking about Cam Miller?
No, I'm talking about Genty.
Oh, sorry, 6th. Yeah, I was thinking 6th round.
No, the number 6 pick.
No, Genty definitely needs to get going, but
he needs to get going
on the offensive line.
Well, and the offensive line also plays into the hand of the quarterback as well. So ultimately, building it is the utmost, and it's imperative that we do it. The cool thing about it is we addressed it. I mean, we didn't go heavy like a volume of offensive linemen to bring them in, but the one plus the other shows me that they are definitely focused on building that offensive line back up.
Yeah.
Right. And we got I think we got the best center in all of football.
At least in running blocking at the bare minimum.
At the bare minimum. I mean, when we get into that zone, that wide zone run scheme, he is gonna eat. Trust me, he's gonna love it. Absolutely gonna love it. And that parlays right into Ashton Genty. That's the most important thing because he's already on the roster, right? And I'm not gonna boo-hoo over somebody that's not on our team. So if we don't take Fernando Mendoza and he's not on our team, there's no reason to be. I mean, you could be upset, and it's probably you could do a lot of "I told you so," but what good is that going to do?
Right? It'll make me feel better because I'll definitely be doing that.
Well, I'm not going to. The thing of it is, I'm not going to direct it at the fans, except for 805. I will direct it at 805 because I think it's his fault that happened.
Well, no, it's not a fan's fault. Like, we have no power over the GM.
Can I blame somebody? Come on, man.
Well, I mean, when we don't take Mendoza, when Kirk Cousins is done, and we don't have that answer at quarterback, like, then what? We're just going to keep repeating the process over and over again. Get the damn quarterback.
I'm tired of kicking around.
Okay, we don't draft Mendoza. We're trading back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, a team finds value in Mendoza because they would have to trade up to the number 1 spot. Okay. Now we have extra picks for next year because that's where we're kicking the can down, right?
Yeah, but we're gonna have to suck next year to get up in the top.
Well, I mean, we ourselves, our team, we're going to have probably a top 12, top 10 pick, and that might not even be enough.
Yeah. If Kirk Cousins screws around and wins us 8 games, we ain't getting a quarterback next year.
Well, and then we're going to be even more pissed we don't have Mendoza.
Yep.
Because
you guys,
then what?
You do have to realize AOC cost us Jaden Daniels. We were in the hunt for Jaden Daniels until they went with AOC, and AOC started winning games.
Yeah, and the phone call was made to trade up for Jaden Daniels. We offered our 3 firsts.
Oh, you always got
3 years.
Yeah, you're always going to call.
They said no.
What would you? What's it going to take to get him?
And the Patriots said no. Also, the top 3 teams were not trading back. They all needed a quarterback, and they were going to sit.
And that'll happen next year too.
Yeah, because you got your 3 guaranteed top 3 picks already, but between the Dolphins, the Jets, and is it the Cardinals? You think?
I can tell you right now, the Dolphins are tanking already because they've already traded off a bunch of assets.
They completely ruined their roster.
The Cardinals, the Jets.
The Jets brought in the tank commander himself.
No. I mean, maybe Pittsburgh might want to think about it, depending on what happens with the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. I don't know, but yeah, we got a bunch of guys coming in as well. Real quick, I'm just going to give shout outs. I'm not going to pull Michael Guerrero, obviously, Sacktown Raider Mike still in here rocking hard, and Alex, thanks for coming in. Let's get to some of these guys who are throwing some good content our way.
Yeah, I would be pissed if we don't get a quarterback. Tired of the Band-Aid quarterbacks we had. Brady's car for next year. No. That's coming from Alex. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. And as miserable as this season was, and we barely got the number 1 pick overall, we're not going to get the number 1 pick next year. I just don't see it happening.
No.
I mean, yeah, we have a tough schedule, but I still think we're going to get more wins than we did this year or this last season.
And an interesting thing that you had mentioned earlier when we were talking, look how bad of a season we had, and we still almost didn't get the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like you're at that position, and you gotta strike when the iron's hot. Is basically what it is. You got to strike when the iron's hot, and with that number 1 pick.
Yeah, boss man himself coming in to troll.
Yeah. We're getting trolled by the boss man.
Yeah, he's trying to start a fire with some water. It ain't happening.
Yep. No draft for him. He's out. Hey, that's a good point, Jeff. It came out today, and I guess Mendoza notified the NFL that he was not going to be at the draft. He's going to stay home with his family and enjoy the draft with his family. I myself don't have a problem with that.
No issue with that.
Nah, I don't have a problem with it. So it is what it is. Yeah. And I know for some people it's important to go up on stage and get the jersey from Goodell. It's a memorable moment. But in the long run, it's not about the ceremony. It's about what happens afterwards.
Or here's the whole thing. They could just full on just do a pre-recording of everything for Mendoza, so that way he could just sit at home with his family and enjoy himself with his family.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that the Raiders already told him that he's their pick. They already know.
No.
I mean, because look at the Bengals and Joe Burrow, for example. Joe Burrow knew he was the pick.
Yeah, a lot of your number 1 picks, when it's dead set, and they're basically the writing's on the wall type thing. So it's evident, and I think a lot of it too is for him. I think it'd be a little bit better because there's some people. It's like, you know what, I just want to sit and enjoy this with my family.
Yeah. 1 second for Furbo.
Raiders.
Thanks, Shane, for joining us on your break, brother.
Jeff saying, yeah, supposedly that's Raider thing to do now. Skip the draft. Raiders fans are so brain damaged.
I don't know if that has to do with what we're talking about.
I don't know. I don't know if he's saying that people are brain damaged for hating on players for skipping the draft or what.
I don't see nothing wrong with wanting to stay home and spend it with your family. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
Yeah.
Joe Thomas did it, you know. There's been a few people that have decided, I'm just gonna stay home, and and you got to take into consideration his mom's medical condition as well. Flying her out to Pittsburgh and all that, and it's probably just easier in the confines of their home to just stay there, enjoy the moment. I'm sure once the draft is over, he'll be on a plane to Vegas for the next day. So, okay. So, all right, that makes sense. Now I know what he's talking about.
He's just saying it's dumb that fans are making a deal out of it either way.
Right. Yeah, that shouldn't be an issue either way.
Yeah.
So,
it's kind of one of those things where like the media picks up on it because they're struggling to find stories because it's like Mendoza's the pick. Period. End of story. But yeah, Alex has a good point here. Miami's much better to be in than Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I cannot lie with that statement at all.
Yeah, I was going to go to the draft, and I was like, you know what? I'll go. Even if I can't find anybody to go with, I'll just go by myself, right? I'll just throw a bunch of stuff in a backpack, get me a plane ticket, and head on out. And then I got hit with two things. One, the wife said, your daughter's getting married this year, and you're going to spend that money to go to Pittsburgh for a draft, and it's just a draft. It's not a game. Meh, meh, meh. And then I'm like, okay. Then I called my buddy that's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. He goes back at least once, sometimes twice a year to watch Pittsburgh games in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, man, you want to go to the draft? It's in Pittsburgh. And he's like, the draft? No. I go, well, we can go back there, go to the draft Thursday night, go to the draft Friday night, and then come back Saturday. I go, it's not that big a deal. I go, is there some good restaurants and good places to visit, downtown by the stadium, where the hotels and stuff are? And he goes, I'm not going.
Yeah.
I was like, shit. I thought a Steelers fan he'd be dying to go to the draft at their home stadium. No, it's just the draft. To him, that was his take on it anyways. And I'm like, man, it'd be really cool.
Mendoza's a Raider.
Jeff, it's like, calm down. He's not even a Raider yet. My God.
Yes, he is. They might as well have his actual jersey on sale already.
Yeah.
It's like crazy.
It's gonna happen, but you know what? I had this vision, right? And the way we are and the way shit's been for the past few years and even up to and including the last couple of months, I had this vision of Roger Goodell going up during the first pick, going up and saying, there's been a trade. The New York Jets have traded their second round pick to the Las Vegas Raiders for the first pick. The New York Jets are now on the clock. And then as he's walking off, he stops. He's talking to somebody, and he turns around and goes back. There's been a correction. The Jets have rescinded the trade. And I'm like, yeah, that's just our luck.
Just to make fun of the whole Crosby ordeal.
Yeah. Not shit to laugh about.
He's got to go. You don't want to hear the Mendoza positivity.
Nah. He's going to go to a black hole meeting or something or other.
No, like you had your show on Friday, and there's a little back and forth between myself and 805. And the one thing I did say was, like, looking at the Mendoza tape is like doing your homework for yesterday's test. Like, Mendoza's the pick.
Mm-hmm.
Who are we taking at the second round, and who are we taking in the third round? And is Spytek going to do his Spytek magic again, where he trades back once or twice in the second round to try to collect multiple top 100 picks. I guess magic is the wrong word because there's a lot of players that you and I both wanted at each of the trade backs, and then we ended up
Mhm.
with Jack Besh. But
Mhm.
I mean, chat, who are we taking in the second round? I know a lot of people are really heavy on defensive tackle. I wasn't really on board of we must get a absolute beast nose tackle,
Mhm.
but after thinking about it, like the absolute monsters we got in run defense between Max Crosby, Quiddy Pay, um, N'Kobe Dean, and Quay Walker, like all four of those guys are absolute monsters against the run.
Mhm.
We went and got like a true monster of a nose tackle like McDonald or Miller in the second round. Like we're gonna force most teams to be one dimensional against us.
Mhm.
And then we can focus on improving our pass defense after that.
No.
Like that could be huge.
No. Yeah,
Uh,
but I'm also seeing some cornerbacks are starting to pop up in that top of that second round too. So it really is gonna come down to what's more important for us to enhance at this point. Is it going to be our defensive line or our secondary? Um, I
um,
I think the secondary might be a little bit more of a priority. Um, the only reason why I say that is if we get in a position where we can't get a true zero technique type nose tackle, we can still go back to a 4-3
yeah.
or just run a front 42 hybrid, which I think we're going to run a lot of 42
Yeah.
hybrid anyways.
Which
You know.
in the owner meeting press conference that Kubiak had, the one defensive front that he mentioned more than once, this was the only one, was a 4-2 over. So
Yeah, the 4-2 over. Yeah.
we're probably going to be running that more than anything else, just because nickel defense is so much more common in the NFL nowadays. Anyways, that's basically your base. But even in that 4-2 over, like you going from a zero technique to a one technique, so you still need that true nose tackle.
Yeah.
But the other thing to look at is, do you focus on the offensive side of the ball so that way you can try to guarantee you have offensive generation? Because that's one thing that's been absolutely killer for us is the past few seasons, our offense cannot stay on the field. And then our defense starts off strong, but then they can't stop anybody by the time the second half comes around. So do you focus on offense so that way we can maintain the ball, maintain drives, sustain them, get extra field goals that we haven't been getting, get extra touchdowns we haven't been getting, and allow our defense to make a stand when it actually matters in a game?
That's just it. They're going to have to make a stand. So the defense is, to me, the second round is going to be priority defense. And that's just like you said, is we got to get off the field on second down because I hear a lot of this. Well, because the offense couldn't sustain drives, the defense got tired. There were 4 games last year where either the other team got the opening kickoff, went 19 plays for 55 minutes.
Yeah.
On one drive. I'm exaggerating. I'm embellishing. Don't
But
shoot
it's nailing home the point.
But the point being is like you guys, offense hasn't even been on the field yet. You can't blame them. And second half, same thing with second half. Start second half, and you just see the other team go first and 6, 6 yards, 8 yards, 3 yards, 5 yards, 2 yards, 3 yards, 8 yards, just 15 plays later, we get the ball, we get one possession in that quarter. Well, by then you've already ruined all you've limited your possession ability at that point, the ability to have more possessions the rest of the game, because usually you're going to average at best in the fourth quarter 3 possessions.
Yeah.
Now you can get 5 to 7 possessions depending on how fast the game is moving. Whether you're getting off the field, creating punts, creating turnovers, things like that. But if the other team is running the ball, because you run the ball, if you run the ball for 4 yards, that's 40 seconds plus another 30 seconds. That's 70 seconds that you burn up off the clock off of a 4-yard run.
Yeah.
Now you turn around and you get a 7-yard run. It's another 70 seconds right there. Right? That's almost 2 minutes. Well, that's over 2 minutes, if my math is correct. Again, don't hold that against me. I'm not a mathematician. nor do I play one on TV.
Yeah. Sacktown Raider Mike saying he likes Emmanuel Pregnon, the guard, or AJ Halsey, the safety in the second round.
Yep.
Pregnon is okay for me there. I prefer the Texas A&M guard if we're gonna go guard. Why does this always happen to me? Name escapes me as soon as I need it. And then there's also two offensive tackles that could possibly be there. That's Miller from Clemson, and then the guy from Arizona State, with kind of a weird name, but honestly,
I think it's Iaconor. Is how you say it? Iaconor?
Yeah,
something like that. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
He's a stud.
But honestly, I think the Patriots take him. I think they're going to focus offensive line because that ended up hurting them in the playoffs. But I think it's either we're going to go for a big receiver or defense. And personally, I would like Emmanuel McNeil-Warren if we go safety in the second round if he's there, because the guy's an animal. He can play everywhere on the defense. He can play that outside linebacker role for certain downs. He can play strong safety if he needs to, slot, corner safety, and he can play free safety. He's just really, really talented, and he's a ball hawk. Like, the guy makes a lot of plays.
Yeah.
As far as cornerback goes, I'm personally leaning towards Chris Johnson. I know he's a smaller school guy coming from San Diego, but the guy plays the ball so naturally. He's just really, really good. And then you got your two nose tackles between Kristen Miller and McDonald. Caden McDonald from Ohio State.
From Ohio State.
Yeah. So, like, they're at 36. There's going to be a lot of options for us. But the question is, does Spytech try to trade back and get more picks? And if that
what about trade up?
Trade up would be cool too, but it depends where.
And I'm going to throw my take in there. If Thieneman from Oregon starts sliding back 22, he's now at 22 and 23. He's not off the board yet. I would love to go up and get him.
Okay.
I would love to, because there's that dude is he plays sideline to sideline like nobody's business as a free safety, and very seldomly could you get over the top on him. If he was able to roll coverage, you're not going over the top of him. You're just not. He ran a 4.340 as a free safety. Come on, that's.
So for me personally, I understand wanting to trade up for Thieneman. Like, Thieneman's a good player, but for me personally, I'd rather try to trade back like 5 or 6 spots and then draft AJ Halsey if you're going to go free safety. Halsey's such a ball hawk. He plays that free safety role so naturally. Like, he's a blanket over the top of everything.
No.
He's a legitimate playmaker. So, like, that's where, okay, do you give up your second and third round pick? Because we're going to have to give those two up at least to get up into the first round. I don't see how else we would get up there unless we possibly gave away our future first. And I don't think that's worth it. But Thieneman is a very good player. But I personally would rather have Halsey, depending on the scenarios. Sacktown Raider Mike saying it's okay. Everyone disagrees with my picks. I don't disagree with the Halsey pick at all. I really like him.
No, I like him too. I don't know at 30. I don't know if 36. That might be. Well, I'm gonna refrain from saying that's not a reach, really, because from 33 to 53, there's not a whole lot of difference in the talent, man. You can pick anybody in that range, and it's not reaching.
Yeah,
it really isn't.
And if you truly have faith in the guy, grab him. Like, there's no guarantee he's going to be there if you do trade back. So,
well, let's factor this in. Is Polamalu one of our biggest weaknesses on the defense?
I don't think he's one of our biggest weaknesses, but I do think if we drafted Halsey, he'd definitely start over Palomau.
He's just way more talented than Palomar.
Yeah. So Chris Johnson, I think, would be a possible starter, but he would be fighting for it with Porter, most likely. And then we already have slot corner covered, so it doesn't make sense to go for a slot corner either. And we don't have a true nose tackle. So if we went and got like a McDonald or Kristen Miller, I think day one they're starting at nose tackle on the formations that we require it.
Yeah.
And then the other end would be like Boston, the receiver from Washington. He'd be a day one starter at receiver.
But would he be a true number one?
I think he would.
I don't think
year one he would be, but
I think he'd be a complimentary wide receiver too. If we had he'd be in that Crabtree range as a number two,
which is fine because we got Brock Bowers. If we had a high end number two,
and that's just it. And excuse me for forgetting about number 89, just for a second, because I always beat the table. It's like, why do we need to go out and get some high flying number one wide receiver? And when we have probably one of the most durable weapons, most talented receiving weapons in the NFL, and Brock Bowers, whether tight end, receiver, run him, it don't matter. He's just a weapon.
Yeah.
So yeah, excuse me for forgetting that, by the way. If any Bauer fans are out there, I apologize because I'm a huge Brock Bowers fan.
But no, my whole thing on the receiver take is I don't think we should go second round receiver. If anything, we go third round because I really like Ted Hurst from Georgia State. Like, the guy is extremely talented and has good hands, and he's really big body.
Yeah, big kid.
He's very, very talented. That being said, it's kind of a reach pick because he's from a Georgia State.
No,
but he's talented.
And he did struggle against more talented secondary too.
Yeah.
So, but not all of it's his fault, because if they could roll covers to him because he's the biggest threat on a weak team, then that's not hard to defend, right? I mean,
yeah.
So and you don't have a quality quarterback to deliver you the ball. Yeah. So there's a lot of pieces to that puzzle that play into that as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Michael Guerrero coming in. Should we draft Colton Miller replacement in the later rounds? It's kind of hard to find a legitimate replacement tackle in the later rounds, especially for someone like Colton Miller, who's just held down the left side of that line for us. It never hurts to try to invest in the offensive line. The question is, with how many offensive linemen we kept and brought in, would they make the roster? Are they going to focus on trying to find Colton Miller's replacement when they're still trying to win games this year? Whereas they already have Grant in the building, who's going to make the roster. He's most definitely going to be the number 3 tackle after Miller and Glaze. So they may already have the next man up from Miller.
Yeah.
I would say the 2027 draft would show more on the direction they're going to go with the offensive tackle position, because I don't think they're worried about Miller quite yet, especially with Grant. And it seems like they have a ton of faith in Glaze, because he has been mentioned by name a few times in different interviews. So I think they're going to sit still with the offensive line as a whole. If they do go late round, they're probably going to get a guy that can probably play all the positions.
Yeah. I can see the overall evaluation of our tackles was pressed upon Rick Dennison, and I'm sure Rick Dennison saw enough to say, you know what, I could do something with that kid. Don't pump the brakes. Don't pull the red handle yet. Let's see what we got. Let me get in the building with them and see if I can work with him. we know he's not fleet-footed, so that's kind of a hindrance when you start running that wide zone concept. But also at the same time, he still has good leverage in the run game.
Yeah.
So some of that you can overshadow. Let's kind of dive into this a little bit. What kind of leader do the Raiders need right now? Is it an alpha spotlight type leader or a quiet foundation builder? What's your take?
I mean, to me, the kind of leader I see is kind of one and the same in both of those, where a guy who's going to come in, get his job done, put in all the work where people see it, that kind of becomes your alpha and the guy who's put in the spotlight. Not necessarily, but I think with this question, you're kind of trying to ask like an alpha spotlight guy saying where he's more vocal and like kind of verbalizes everything, whereas a quiet foundation builder is kind of like your Brock Bowers, who's doesn't really have a lot to say, but inside the building, he's putting in the work and everybody sees it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So in that case, I'm going more quiet foundation builder. I'd rather have those 10 out of 10 times than some sort of person who's going to say all the right things in front of a camera to get the team pumped up, where those guys don't buy into that. And the NFL level, they buy into the people that put in the hard work and get the results.
Yeah. And there's sometimes a vocal alpha quote unquote leaders could do too much for the team when they're doing the chants and the roars and things like that. Whereas sometimes just letting the play itself. That's where I love Brock Bowers is he just lets the play speak for himself. And when he gets to the sideline, everybody's just like in awe of what he did. And he brings energy to that team. When he's cooking, he brings energy to that sideline.
Yeah. I mean, like his touchdown grab right at the pylon where the ball was super low, but that's kind of the only place they could place it. And he caught it off his fingertips for the touchdown. When he went over that sideline, everyone gathered around him. Like he gives them energy through play.
Yeah.
Just like Max Crosby. Like everybody sees all the work Max Crosby puts in and he gets everyone to build off of him.
Yep.
So
which
like, sorry, go ahead.
Which is a to me that's a very good quality. That's a good leader. One that just can do it by example, set the example, and then not overstate that example either.
Yeah.
Not I made that catch, but take pictures of me. He's like he don't care. He just wants to play football and win games, catch touchdowns, win games.
Yeah. Now there is another thing to be said. Like in the quarterback position, when you have your leadership there, like they do need to be vocal, but how they do it. Like you don't need to be a total dick about everything or anything, but you need to be able to command the huddle. You need to get guys in line when they're starting to act out. Like, no, guys, we need to get our job done. Like,
no.
So, I mean, I do think there is that alphaness that needs to be there, but it'll come along with the play, with the hard work being put in. Like, everybody knows Brock Bowers is the guy. Everybody knows Colton Miller is the guy, and they don't speak. Like, damn well, like there's going into last offseason, right? Everybody is basically pushing the offensive line leadership onto JPJ. It's like Colton Miller is the guy on that offensive line. Like everybody goes through him. Miller don't talk a lot, but he's definitely the leader there. JPJ is just vocal. Like he's boisterous. He's outgoing. And I think that might have been part of his reason why he was getting in trouble last year is they didn't want that. They wanted him to get his job done before he started talking. Brother Yaya.
Salute, brother Yaya. Thanks for coming in, brother.
Yep. Thank you.
I think Michael Guerrero had one. Oh, that's what we were just talking about.
Yeah,
Should we replace the later rounds? I at some point we're gonna have to address the tackle. Later, it wouldn't bother me a bit. I mean, we got 3 4th-round picks, so if you just if you take those 4th-round picks, throw them at the wall for position of need, then yeah, I'm good with it. Your first 3 rounds, you're trying to get day 1 starters with your first pick. Let's see here, and then I think that's it for the questions. If you guys got questions in the chat, man, throw them out there. We'll be more than happy to chime in and get some conversation going. Let's see. Does today's visit make you more confident or more nervous about drafting Fernando Mendoza?
Neither. I was already confident they were drafting him.
Okay.
That hasn't changed.
All right. Is there anything about drafting him that makes you nervous?
No. I'm confident he's the guy we need. And the only thing is the whole starting him year one and all that. If he does beat out Captain Kirk, then I think he needs to start day one.
Mm-hmm.
If it's close, then yeah, put Kirk Cousins out there. And that's even with like us having a big question mark and being cautious about our offensive line. If Mendoza goes out there in the whole offseason and just is able to prove he's the number one guy, the number one quarterback on our roster, then he just needs to play. I
had the same philosophy in it. I don't know if this, I'll try and correlate it. Is you're absolutely right. If they go into training camp, by the end of training camp, the conclusion is that Mendoza obviously outplayed Kirk Cousins in the preseason. The one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to hold them back. You don't want to pull on the leash too hard, right? But you still want to put a little slack in that leash and let him cook, right? So don't stop. We're not going to start you. You're just a rookie. You need to sit. The mentality shouldn't be to sit him just for the purposes of sitting him, because you think you're going to do something special for him by just doing that. But by signing Kirk Cousins, it gives us that alternative that if for some reason we get into training camp and it's like, okay, he's where we knew he was, where he thought he was, but we need a little bit more. Say, for example, he's got everything down. He's reading the defenses just fine. He's able to cue on that. Cue his, what his reads are, make his adjustments as is. All that's fine, right? But he still has a little bit of apprehension in the pocket. Okay, because let's face it, the speed, that pocket is going to close a hell of a lot faster in the pros than it did in college. The good thing is he's already had practice against college or against NFL calibers players. I mean, I could just name names: Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Akeem Essidor, Reuben Baines, Cade McDonald.
Yeah.
What do they all have in common?
They're all going to be NFL caliber players and first round guys.
They all got beat by Indiana. They all got to rush after Mendoza, chase after him. And Mendoza actually played against Miami twice, once at Cal and once at Indiana. So he's, to say he's not experienced in elite pass rushes, he is, and Penn State was no joke. They still had a good defense, even though the team wasn't all that good. They still had a good defense.
Yeah, they have one of the best defensive coordinators in all of college.
Yep. So. Oregon is another one that had a good defense. When they played Illinois was ranked number 9 in the nation, and people were just about their defense. I guess after 63-10 loss, it changed that real quick.
Sorry.
Yeah. Cool that they had Mendoza come over the same day when the team workout program started. Yeah, it's kind of faces and places. I don't think he's allowed to interact with the team on the campus. I'm not quite sure. I don't know if that would be considered tampering.
Who's to say that he's not being walked around the facility and he just happens to sit in the back of a meeting?
On accident. This is our meeting room with our quarterbacks.
Oh, you want to sit down, just see how they interact and go about things? And here's our whole offensive game plan.
It's a field trip. Right?
Yeah.
You're just on a field trip. That's all it is a field trip. So I mean, it's like this whole thing with the Brian Greasy thing and people's take on that. It's like, okay, no, it's not the Raiders playbook. No, the Raiders didn't assign him to Brian Greasy or anything like that. But with the knock wink wink, you know, is, you know, his agent goes, hey, talk to some people, and they said that, you know, we can hire this Brian Greasy, who's not employed by an NFL team. He's not in the NFL, he's not coaching in the NFL. So there's no legalities there. You know, he's been around that Bronco organization from the Mike Shanahan to the Gary Kubiak to the Clint Kubiak to the Rick Dennison to Andrew Janoko. He's been around all those guys. They're all come from the same cloth.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is like them saying that him being with Greasy, practicing, learning the Raiders playbook. Like that's not true. That's the catchy title of the article. In reality, the way it works is like your offenses, like you have your offensive trees, like how people always say coaching trees. It's really your offensive trees. So like you got your wing T guys, you got your West Coast guys, you got your run and shoot guys. Like they all have their different trees, and that each tree has their own designated like lingo and how they talk about offensive football. So like Greasy being that West Coast wide zone offensive guy, like how Kubiak is and the Shanahans are, like he knows all that lingo. He's teaching them the not the playbook, but the style of play and the lingo and everything that he's going to need to be able to pick up that playbook better. So he's not teaching him Kubiak's playbook. He's teaching him the style of offense Kubiak runs.
But I'm sure some of those play calls that Brian Greasy relays to him are going to be the exact same ones that are going to be in the playbook. Because the ones that are in Clint Kubiak's playbook were in Mike Shanahan's playbook, who were in Bill Walsh's playbook, who were in Steve Mariucci, John Gruden, Andy Reid, Mike Holmgren, all those guys from that Bill Walsh, you know, because it's really, we talk about coaching trees, it all starts with Bill Walsh is the nucleus of that. That's the godfather. And then it just keeps branching from, you know, Mike Shanahan to, you know, Gary Kubiak to Andy Reid was in that coaching system. Mike Holmgren was in that coaching system. And then they coached coaches who went out and coached. And, you know, it just spawns itself throughout eternity. You know, I mean, there's still guys that's coaching in the NFL that have Don Coryell concepts in their playbook. You know, with the Air Coryell. I mean, the godfathers of those type of offenses back in the days, their concepts just continue.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And speaking of like the godfathers of the offenses and everything, like gonna keep hitting on it that Rick Dennison is a godfather of coaching offensive line and the wide zone schemes. Like is gonna keep placing how important it is to have somebody like Dennison on our coaching staff. Because
I still think that was the best acquisition in the offseason.
Yeah.
Right. I would put it 1A, 1B with Linderbaum. Linderbaum 1A, Dennison 1B.
And Dennison's huge.
I think we kind of beat this horse to death for the last few months. What do you say?
The Mendoza question? Yeah. I mean, that's like I've been saying lately. It's like I'm kind of over talking about it because it's like we're talking about yesterday's results of the test. Like we all know he's going to be the draft pick.
Yep.
Who are we taking after him? What are we doing? Are we trading up? Are we sitting at 36 and picking? Are we trading back? Like what are we doing?
Yeah.
And I think some of the game plans being kind of revealed with like the people they've been bringing in on like top 30 visits. They've had a lot of defensive tackles and a lot of receivers being brought in on their top 30 visits. And a lot of those players are all second round, looking to be second round players right now. So
some third round. Third rounders, I haven't seen him bring any top 30 visits in potential. No Arvell Reese, no Sonny Styles, no Ruben Baines, none of those guys came in. So it's pretty much a done deal. And I agree. I mean, I like alternatives though. I'm not gonna lie.
Like playing the what if game, kind of.
The trade back what ifs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and one of the things is like, let's say for example, Khalil Mack was in this draft, he'd be the number one pick, right?
Not for me. No.
No, he would be the number one pick. If you take what you know today, grab it, take it back in time, and let's say he's now a rookie in 2026, knowing what you've already seen, he would be the number one pick because a lot of franchises are out there. They're chasing that edge rusher. They're chasing that left tackle, the quarterback. And I would say he would be rated higher than Fernando Mendoza as an overall prospect at the number one pick.
Okay.
And that's just an example that I'm giving, right?
So for the Raiders right now, you have the GM hat on. You have Khalil Mack and you have Fernando Mendoza. You're taking Khalil Mack at number one overall.
Khalil Mack would be the number one pick.
Now, would you trade back if Khalil Mack is in this draft with the Jets?
That number one pick would be worth a lot of draft capital.
Well, so here's the thing.
It would be worth more. To me, it'd be worth more than if it's just Fernando, because after Fernando, I mean, you look at the total first round in and of itself. There's nobody really that jumps out that can just take that number one slot. You know, like somebody going, hey, I'm at the number 5 pick, but I want to go up to number 1 to get this guy, so I'll make sure that I get him because he's an absolute. There's none of that. There's no talent in this. There's no talent in it. There's a lot of good quality players, but nobody that really rings the bell. Does that make sense?
David Bailey rings the bell for me, but even then, I'm not taking him number 1. I'm taking Mendoza.
Right. I think, but to push back on myself, I guess you could say, is I'm also tired of kicking the can down the road.
Yeah,
with the quarterback position, I really truly am, and this has been going on since 2018.
What's up, Bueno?
What's up, Bueno? Nice to come in. Thanks for coming in, brother. So let's shift a little bit. Okay, some stuff has come up in last couple of days where a particular defensive tackle for the New York Giants is requesting a trade. And I see a lot of guys and a lot of Raider fans, Raider Nation, that are, let's go get him. We should trade for him. Let's go get him. All right. Who in the chat here would want to trade for Dexter Lawrence? Number 1, want to trade for him. And 2, what would you give up for him to go get him? Defensive. I'm talking defensive tackle, right? And now, mind you, he's a really good defensive tackle. Don't get me wrong, really good. But are we in a position today to do that, or would it be a panic move?
Well, I got 2 things on it. First off is for all the people that wanted to trade Max Crosby because he's old and getting hurt and all that. Like, he's 28 years old. Dexter Lawrence is also 28. Like, they're about the same age. So if you were on the boat of trading Crosby because of Crosby's age, then you better not be on the boat of trying to get Dexter Lawrence. And then the second thing is, it kind of goes back to what we've been doing the past few years on trying to force wins. Like, if we go trade away draft capital to get a Dexter Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wouldn't want to do that. So the only other way would be to trade a player and maybe a pick, or depending on what player we're trading, trade a player for Dexter Lawrence and a pick.
So you're going to give up 2 players for one guy that wants more money.
Yeah, I just don't see it happening. I understand cap magic can happen, but I don't want to force the issue with the cap space because we're still in a very good position. If we go get a Dexter Lawrence, that really limits what we can do in free agency the next couple of years. Even if we did,
I'm going to ask you this. 1, what college did he go to, and who were his teammates?
Did he go to Georgia? Because I don't know. I'm asking.
Well, Google it.
And
I know.
Did he go to Georgia with Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker?
He's older than them.
Oh, by 2 years. So he could have played on the same team as them.
Think about it. They won a national championship.
Alabama.
Nope. And who were his teammates?
Oh, he played at Clemson.
Who were his teammates?
Um,
On the defensive line. See you wiping your beard already.
Christian Wilkins, one of them.
And Cleve Farrell.
Yeah, and Cleveland Farrell.
So you want to just go get the third guy and make it a clean sweep? We already got screwed over by the other two guys. Let's do it again. You know, that takes me back to when I was a kid and my dad had me test the spark on a lawnmower with a screwdriver with no handle. And I was about 13 years old. He pulled that handle and it shocked me. Okay, I'll give it to you, Dad. That was cool. Now the second time he had me do it again. Now who's the stupid guy? You want to try it again? No, we don't need to. Just that in and of itself pauses me with Dexter Lawrence. Now, mind you, great defensive tackle. Have no problem with him. But why does he want to be traded? Because of the money. Is it the money? Well, why is it? There's a reason, right? You know, and
why is he not getting a contract? Or
here's another take. How fast does the Giants unload him? That's another question.
It depends if they're willing on the deal they get.
Well, if they're willing to part ways with him now, like go ahead, bye. You want to trade? Fine, we'll trade you the Birmingham Stallions. We don't give a shit. We'll send you anywhere. You know what I mean? What's that tell you?
Attitude issues.
Yep.
Means he's
don't need that.
Not very good in the locker room.
Don't need that.
Is the new coaching staff going to know all the ins and outs of all that shit already?
Well, that's just it. What kind of intel are we going to have on him since he's been in New York? You know, most of the intel you're going to get is, oh, he's a great guy. He's a great teammate. We don't know that.
Well, that's what they said about Wilkins too.
Oh, he was a great teammate. He's a great tickler. Loved to tickle.
Hey, he was just showing you some love.
Yep, just showing you some love.
Yeah.
So, having said that, to me, there's no where we're at right now as an organization and how we've been going about doing our business. There's no reason for us to even entertain that. Okay, it's not going to do us any good. Okay, and to give up future draft picks just to get a particular player is not the smartest thing to do. Not at this time. If we were in a position where our roster was built like the Rams or the Chiefs or the Bills or you know those teams, and we had the 8th pick or we just had a down year, but we still got a really good foundational base with new coaches that can probably uncork them, then I would probably think about we're not in that position. No. This is still too new in the rebuild process to be going out and pulling an Antonio Brown trade or any of that stuff. Just, focus on what you have. There's still some, there's going to be some guys that are going to get cut that are still has some tread on the tire that we could bring in once training camp gets going or after training camp. So I'm not opposed to that. That's what, you bring those guys in and they're going to be fillers. They're going to help you in situational downs, make a few plays, might even have a really good game once in a while for us to, shine where we can all, log on to YouTube and talk about, oh, that guy just really played all that good, So, I mean, that I could see, but making us. I'm done with these splash deals. I'm done with it.
I'm especially done with the splash deals on D linemen because it has almost never worked out for us. Like Seymour worked out a little bit, but we didn't win anything with them.
We made a splash deal with one of our most coveted franchise players. How'd that work out for us?
He came right back.
He's back with us. It was like that was a boomerang. That was a boomerang deal.
Yeah,
we threw it. It came right back.
What's up, Rorschach?
Rorschach.
Bueno wants to talk to Spytech about trading Max for Lawrence in a second-round pick, and he's so willing to do that he's willing to beat Spytech's ass.
You want to give Max in a second-round pick?
No. Max to the Giants for Dexter Lawrence and their second.
No.
It's not worth it.
Mm-mm.
And then here's the other thing. Okay. We ship Max off. Well, now we have a big hole at edge. And yeah, we may have filled our D tackle need, but now we just shifted the need.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you're looking at, okay, in the second round, who can we replace Max with?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nobody's going to give us Max year one, maybe year 2 and 3, but it's a crap.
Quiddy Pay is not going to do what Max does.
Yeah, Quiddy Pay is not the pass rusher Max is. Quiddy Pay is the run stopper Max is, but that's about it.
Yeah, but I also agree too with Coach Gravy that Max really isn't an elite pass rusher per se.
I mean, he's always up there in pressures, but he doesn't get the sacks. But also,
he gets credit. Would you like to have credit for a pressure when you miss the sack?
I think
because you still get credit for you get credit. Pressure is an undocumented stat. I mean, it's subjective. It's like in baseball with the infield. Was that a hit or was it an error? Well, we'll let the scorers decide. You know, that's the problem with a sack is a sack. A sack is a sack. A pressure is, well, I got within 2 inches of him before he threw the ball. So is that a pressure? Or I made him throw the ball earlier than he should. Is that a pressure? And in Max's case, there's a lot of times those are missed sacks that he's given credit for a pressure, but it should have been a sack.
You're right, Jason. We should trade Crosby. Let's go get Dexter Lawrence so we can get pressure in the middle.
I want sacks. I want sacks. You're getting paid to sack the quarterback. Get sacks. And fingers crossed this year he goes, you know what? I'm gonna up my game. The quarterback's gonna go down and he's gonna go down hard every game. He should get a sack a game. That's 17 sacks. Sack a game. He's there all the time. Can someone punch Bueno?
Well, it sounds like,
stupid
according to Bueno, Spytech's going to be able to tomorrow over coffee.
What's that?
Bueno said he's going to have a meeting and coffee with Spytech about making that trade happen. So when Bueno leaves the Death Star with coffee all over his shirt, you'll know what happens.
Yeah. I wouldn't let Bueno within 100 yards of Spytech. Now, Mark Davis, I'd let him go sit with Mark Davis. Most definitely.
They can go BF chains together. No, it just, to me, it doesn't make sense to go after Dexter Lawrence because it's all the negative stuff that was with Max Crosby for all the people that wanted to trade away Max Crosby. It's like they did have a point, but at the same time, I didn't want Max Crosby to go. But now on the other end of it, like, I don't want to go get Dexter Lawrence. I'm fine with what we got.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd rather attack it in a draft. I'd rather attack it in a draft, the defensive tackle position in the draft. And we still got Tonka Hemingway and JJ Peguesa we drafted last year, too, that still got they need a little bit more growth as well. They didn't get as much playing time, just like what Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant on the offensive side of the ball. They were left in the closet most of the year.
Yeah,
you know, nobody brought him out and just said, "Hey, give him a run." You know, I know, and Tonka actually played fairly well when he did get his reps. He played fairly well. I think he ended up with 5 sacks in the short amount of time that he played. So from the defensive tackle position, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's
And
not bad.
Piggy's played well too.
Yeah, I mean, so
they just didn't get the reps.
Yeah.
And that goes along with the rest of the rookie class minus Genty.
Yeah.
But
I still want that. I still want that of a zero tech. That 6'2", 340-pound Vince Wilfork, Sam Adams type player that, you know what, every double team is a chore with them.
Yeah.
That's why, like last year, CJ West, I wish we could have got, and CJ West went in the 6th round to the 49ers, and he played pretty good this year.
Did he?
Yeah, he did fairly well. And he's a little bit more slight, though. He's 6'2", but he's at that 305 to 310 range. And you can kind of see it in his lower legs. He's got the trunk, the thighs in the trunk, but his lower legs, it's like you want to, like Vince Wilfork was just a massive human being, and he can run. I think it was like a 5'40" guy. So.
Should we hit it for Bueno?
You know what?
Take away his mod status.
Take away his mod status. All right. Well, let's see here.
We're just going all sorts of goofy today. They're going at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They just need something to happen. They want that draft.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to the draft most definitely. Next couple of weeks is going to kind of be a lull, because the buildings start to get the whispers are a little bit quieter, I guess you can say. And here, let me see here if I could do this. Go ahead, keep going.
Well, I mean, on the Dexter Lawrence thing, like, that's another thing is I don't want to pay him that contract, because that's his whole reason for wanting to trade is he's not getting his contract that he wants. He wants to get paid, and Giants just aren't in a position to pay him big money because it's not like they're a great team right now. Like, they're still trying to figure things out themselves. They just got a brand new coach and John Harbaugh, and their offense is kind of a question mark, and their defense is loaded with talent, but they're never finishing as like a top, like, legitimate defense.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Let me back out. My audio just dumped. I'm going to back out and I'll be right back. Go ahead and run with the show.
But I mean, another thing is, like, it really does seem like us going after big names, especially on the defensive line. Like, it just never works for us Raiders. Like, we can go off the long list of just stars that we try to go after to force wins, and it just doesn't work. They come and get the paycheck from us, get paid, and then say bye. They don't do anything for it. How come every time I arrive in these live streams, I'm not Bueno has dumbass take, and then I pile on and give him the business? It's tiring. You just gotta remember, you're not his babysitter. Just let him run his mouth. Eventually, he'll get dinged. But it just doesn't make sense to go spend big money on defensive line guys. It just does not work out hardly ever. Richard Seymour is probably the best example on when it did work out, but it didn't lead to us winning any playoff games.
Mm-mm.
We just need to sit there, like Spytech says, build the team the right way. Take the time. It's not going to be an instant turn it around today thing. We got to go and really build up that team, set that foundation, and we've slowly been doing that.
Yeah. And strategically, not just slow, but strategic, methodical.
Yeah. And we do have talent on our team. It's we need to get the coaching, and hopefully now we finally have the coaching, and then the coaching can take the talent we have and piece together some sort of winning formula. And then they can slowly build off of that to where, okay, now they can consistently win. Okay,
Mhm.
now even when they don't win, they're right there pounding on that door to that W. So now we
Mhm.
can take maybe a season that may have been 8 wins, now all of a sudden it's 12 wins. But
Mhm.
that's the whole thing. We just gotta keep building at that foundation, building it right, keep getting the players invested in the formula that Kubiak has. And eventually we can consistently win and hopefully get to the Super Bowl and win it.
Yeah. That's the ultimate goal, especially with 2029 now being awarded to Las Vegas. Kind of sets us up in that little sweet spot, where year 3 we take a charge at it. Kind of lines up a little bit, so we can maybe drop some silver and black confetti in our own stadium. That would be that
How
would be
amazing would that
phenomenal.
be?
That would be phenomenal. That would be organizational, historic, game changing stuff.
I
It
need to
really
win
would
the
be.
lotto so I can take us to that Super Bowl.
Mhm.
Oh, that would be amazing if we could line that up.
Yeah. Yeah. But the most part is we got, and you know what, guys? And I'm going to say this: there's 16 of you guys watching the show right now, maybe more, maybe less. Um, just do me a favor. Let's try and enjoy the process. Okay, when it does happen, because I can tell you this: if it doesn't work out, oh my God, it's going to be ugly. And it's just, I really truly think you're going to see, especially people my generation that have been Raider fans, go, you know what? Because I've already have a couple friends that we grew up together as diehard Raider fans, and even they are like, last year midway through the game, they just quit watching. They were done. Like, it just, they're in Vegas. They're not. They suck. It ain't even worth my time. And these are guys that have tattoos on their bodies. And their parents were Raider fans, and it's kind of disheartening when you see that. And it's like, and when they moved to Vegas, I was afraid that was going to happen to me too, but it hasn't happened. I'm still just as passionate about my Raiders as ever, you know. But ultimately, just like you said, the process to get to that point to win and be relevant year in and year out, and get a championship, but just be that, one of those teams that at the end of the year they're talking about us in good ways, not bad. But you know how the media is; they'll find some way to screw it up for us,
Well,
don't you think?
they always gotta
Yeah,
find a story, even when
yeah,
there isn't one.
yeah.
Like this whole Mendoza and versus Simpson thing.
Yeah,
There's no story there. They're just
there's
trying to clickbait.
there's ESPN still trying to carry that narrative, and it's like, all right,
Yeah.
whatever.
Even after the shellacking he took on Pat McAfee's show.
No, yeah,
Pat, Pat,
he
Mc,
doesn't stop.
Pat McAfee took belt to ass.
He's- I actually felt bad for him. I felt bad for Dan Orlovsky. It's like, dude, this guy is he walked into the lion's den on that one. And but when you come in with that and you get questioned on it, back it up. He didn't back it. His
Kept
way of
making
backing it up was so fake,
bigger.
it wasn't even funny.
He just kept digging his grave deeper and deeper.
Yep.
What big games? Oh, he only played in the national championship playoffs and won every single game.
Well, not
Oh,
just
he
that.
only had one of the most iconic plays in a national championship game.
Uh,
He
you
played
know,
against more than one of the best defenses in the nation throughout the regular season and playoffs.
they had the 60th strength of schedule.
Okay, he still played top teams and performed well against them.
So I'm going to go back. I'm going to name some names again. Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, Waga from Miami, Messidor, Baines,
Loalu.
Thieneman, Oregon. Well, they're all top 15 picks, right? That's a lot of people I just named off, the top 15 picks that went up against Fernando Mendoza. Right? And they won. Indiana won. You know? So, I mean, had those teams really crushed Mendoza, took his Heisman away from him, then yeah, we'd be sitting here saying Mendoza's probably a 3rd-round pick based on talent. Maybe, or a high 2nd-round pick based on his talent. But it's like Derek Carr. Super talented. Love the guy. I really appreciate what he did for us for 9 years. But had he done that at Fresno State, took Fresno State to the national championship and won the Heisman, he'd have been the number 1 pick that year.
Oh, easily. Especially in that weak class.
Yeah. Because he had the talent. You know, he was capable, perfectly capable. He was a number 1 he was a potential franchise quarterback where he was drafted. Right? He was drafted in the top 40. So there's huge upside to it. But had he won a national championship and a Heisman that year, that would have changed the whole story. It'd have been the number 1 pick. So I don't know if Wayno and Rorschach have settled down yet. Wake me up when we draft. Alex.
Yeah, they've just been going back and forth for a while.
A couple chickens fighting, a couple rooster fighting.
Yeah.
But little limited this week on content to discuss. We're almost an hour and a half. We'll let the rest of the week unfold. We are, I believe, I don't know, we'll discuss it right here in front of everybody so they hear it, is we might have a join in the day of the draft where we might have us a show that night. I don't know if I want to start before the draft or wait until after the draft gets going and then maybe kick it up, fire it up. You're going to have there's going to be a lot of content creators on that night. Some of the big shots will be on. But our guys that we have that follow us are the more core and responsible, I guess you can say. Oh, by the way, we will also have a poll on how far Jeff throws his hat. He says he's not going to, but you know me, if he's on the camera, if you know him, he's probably going to take a shot, and see if he can. So we have a throw the hat for distance contest and so on and so forth. But predominantly, you're going to see a lot of Raider fans jump for joy when we pick Mendoza. There's going to be some that are going to they're going to boo and be upset about it, and that's fine. But ultimately, if he has success, those of you that are pro Mendoza, if he has success, embrace your fellow fans. That none of this bullshit, I told you so, because it could flip the other way too if we take him, where he sucks hind tit, and they can do the same thing. Okay, so it's all about fairness when it comes to Raider Nation, because it's us. Remember, us, Raider Nation. We're us, the fans. We're the Raider Nation. And it's not the players. It's not the organization. It's us. And they depend on us more than we depend on them. Believe it or not. So we got to stand united when the pick does happen. And also, too, if they trade back, be open-minded about that. Okay? If they trade back, be open-minded. There could be a legitimate reason of why they want to do it. Okay? Got a new guy jumping in here, Jose jumping in. You guys ain't driving Rodriguez at 36. I know we upgraded the linebacker room massively, but Dean has a little bit of a injury history and Rodriguez. I like Jacob Rodriguez, but I think there's about 15 other teams that like him more than us.
Oh, they don't have pick 36 though.
Yeah, but they might want to jump up to 34 and get him.
I mean, that's possible. But if he's there at 36, I would not be mad at all getting him. He's a great player. He's a ball hawk. I mean, he's just one of those guys that just always around that ball. And when it's in the air, he has a good chance of getting it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know when we do, I know you do, you guys on Discord, I've been seeing a lot. I haven't done nearly the mock drafts that I did last. I did a ton of mock drafts last year, did tons and tons and tons of them. By the end of this week, start of next week, I'm going to get back into those because now the information is going to be more dialed in. So Pro Football Focus and those guys will all have their Yahoo. Everybody will have more collaborative of what the draft's going to look like. It's still going to be a mysterious draft.
Oh yeah, it always is every year.
It's going to be a mysterious. There's other than Fernando is like 98.5% going to the Raiders. There's still 1.5% that, because who knows? I mean, the Jets might come in and go, hey, we're going to give you our first, second, third, fourth this year and our first, second, and third next year for Mendoza.
If they gave us all 5 of their first round draft picks between this year and next year, then okay. I'm okay with that. I'll take it.
Here you go. Fernando, we love you. Have a good career.
Yes, but we'll get the first overall pick next year.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they're not good. The Jets aren't going to be that good. The Jets are going to be picking top 5 again next year.
Yeah.
Hands down. They're going to be picking top 5 next year. So there's no question about that. But getting back on point, what I was talking about, us as Raider Nation, is just having the understanding that we all have to root for the same thing. It doesn't matter how our players come to us, is we embrace them as they become successful and win. Because it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to maintain pride and poise, shoot for commitment to excellence, and just embrace just win, baby. So going forward, do you have anything planned for this week? I know you have Shop Talk as one of your shows. You going to bust out one of those maybe this weekend or?
I have no idea because I need to start getting ready to move because we're going to be moving here within this month. So I got to do a lot of packing.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't know. So. Leaning towards no, but we'll see.
Friday, Raiders First Downs. I will be going live Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific time. So if you're on your lunch break, you want to pull up, do a little chatting on Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's Raiders, Pride and Poise. Check my channel out. Subscribe. Hit those like buttons. Hey, guys, those of you that are in here, the 15, 16 that are in here, hit those like buttons, man. Our algorithm is just popping. Okay, so that's going to be Friday morning, 11 a.m. Then Saturday night, Raider Nation Voices with myself and 401 Raider Jeff. If you haven't seen that show, you have to come in and watch that show. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's a live call-in show. So if you don't want to text Bueno or Rorschach, and we're missing a few of Rorschach's Chronicles. I think we're like 3 episodes behind on Rorschach Chronicles on the call-in. But if you want to call in and chat it up instead of hitting the thumbs and texting, sometimes hearing your voice and hearing that message is more clear and understandable than trying to read a text. I don't know about you, but sometimes I can text something and somebody misconstrue it. It's like, oh, shit. But then again, also sometimes I can say stuff and people are like, what did you just say? So yeah, Saturday night, 7 p.m., Raider Nation Voices on my channel, 41_Raider Jeff _Raider Jeff on his channel. Set those notifications on the bell, personalized all. Get those notifications and join us on Saturday night. We know most of you don't go out on dates and things like that. You're home on Saturday nights trying to find something to do. What better way to do it than with us? And then when the season starts rolling around and we got lots of things to talk about, good night. It is going to get live. And plus you get to watch me and him fight with each other like we're brothers and we're 3,000 miles away from each other.
Or you get to see fans call on it and talk shit about him not wanting to draft Mendoza.
Oh, yeah. Or they can call in. The good thing is I can't talk to them. I can hear the callers when we do that, but I can't talk to them. We're trying to work that out. There's a technical issue that we're trying to work on and figure out. I think it comes down to hardware, not software. Is why it's not working. So I know this past Sunday we spent almost 4 hours trying to figure it out and just couldn't get it to work. So, and like I was telling him, I was like, I think it's more hardware than software. It's going to come down to getting an actual physical mixer that you can input, output that way and go from there. But that's to be seen. So, hour and a half show. It was a good show, man. I really enjoyed it. Is there more you want to talk about, or you got anything else you want to talk about?
No, we've kind of talked about everything I want to talk about off and on. I think we're good.
Yeah. So, and hopefully next Tuesday we got a lot more to talk about. With our OTAs kicking off this week. Like I said earlier, it's kind of a hush-hush thing in the building. There's not a whole lot of media presence with it. Actually, no media presence. Anything you get will come from the Raiders themselves. But also too, I created a banner on this YouTube URL right here. So any of you guys are interested in watching a really good interview with Fernando Mendoza that kind of answers a lot of the questions that people have been trying to portray as why he can't do this or he can't do that. It's not a matter of he can't. He just didn't do it because this is why. And if you go watch that interview with him, it's real solid. It's a great interview. And you'll kind of get a perspective of what we've been talking about, what his intellect is. Okay. Now that's the URL there. I also cut and pasted it and put it in the description. So if you go into the description on YouTube, at the very bottom, scroll down at the very bottom, there'll be a description there. Click that, put that in your URL up at the top where your address bar is, hit enter, and you should go right to that interview. It's with Yahoo Sports. They interviewed him. It looked like they interviewed him right after a workout because he had sweat around his, and his hair was messy, like he just got done working out when they interviewed him. But it was a really good interview. I mean, it's not one of those like Pat McAfee type interviews or anything like that. It's really good. The guy that came at him, a lot of Cal questions, the different scenarios that he saw at Cal versus Indiana, the type of coaching, things like that. So it's So click that URL. Go watch that interview, man. You'll really appreciate. You'll have more of an understanding. Even those guys are I just can't stand him. I don't like him. Go watch the interview. Really, in all honesty, just go watch the interview, and you'll get a. It's like he's not in the interview. He's not quirky. He's a little nerdy, but he's pretty direct, and you can tell he's got his big boy pants on when he's talking. So, having said, I talked a lot about that, but we will be back next Tuesday at 5 o'clock Pacific time, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be back with Show Me Your Shield. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming in, and we'll talk at you later.
Cold open, counted out. Yeah, we heard the talk. Cold nights and long losses, still we walk. Scoreboard hurt, but the heart stayed real. Still wear the black, still flash the shield. From Oakland roots to Vegas dust, pain in the season, but we still trust. They say it's over, I say move on, but Raiders